on one. And I'm going to leave it to Tom to take it away. But before we see anything more, we do want to thank Jonathan, who, for providing the coffee. And we want to thank Tom and myself for providing
Thank you, Janet. So today I just wanted to do a brief introduction about sort of where the group's going to go, sort of hopefully the future ambitions of where things are headed. I agree this is a great turnout. I was expecting between 12 and 15, and it's great to see so many of you here. Hopefully there's already been some good connections and a good way to meet people. So really just a few housekeeping things. If you could leave the business card in the green bowl that Janet's left there, and also sign in. It's just great for us to be able to keep track of who's here. Correspondence is primarily going to be through email, so I hope that's okay with everyone. So you can just make sure, double check that we have an email that's going to be easy for us to reach you at.
Actually, if you are on LinkedIn, I have created the Roosevelt Island Business Networking Group. So if you're not already on LinkedIn, and you should be, then please join. And when you are, I have your name and your email address, so I will be contacting you. And I think that's the easiest way to communicate to 20 or so people as a group. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you. And at the moment, the next meeting is scheduled for March 27th at 7:30 p.m. So the reason to do that is that hopefully we can attract a new crowd, but also sort of give an opportunity for everyone that's here to come again and hopefully meet a new group of people. So sort of between this meeting and that meeting, we will make decisions about how we're going to schedule and how often we're going to meet and so on. Would be grateful to get some feedback from everybody of how often you'd like to get together. But we're going to be a blend of morning and evening. Potentially there could be two crowds, potentially there could be some people that would like to be at both. So that's the plan we have for that. And so really what I wanted to do is just establish the culture of who we're going to be as a networking group. I don't know how much experience everyone has with networking groups, but I've had some good ones and I've had some bad ones. The ones where you turn up and you just sort of feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to buy whatever it is you're selling, and I don't care how great it is, and I don't care about your customer testimonial that you're pulling out, I don't care what magazine you've been printed in, and you just sort of feel like, oh my gosh, I've just been sold to all night. That isn't where we're headed at all. That isn't who we want to be. And so hopefully people are here because that's not what you want, but rather you want to meet your neighbors, people that also have strong business endeavors, and you want to come together and promote a real genuine win-win for everyone here. No one's here just looking to take, no one's here looking to just sort of do a quick sell and then move on. It is a genuine win-win, and I hope that all of us have that. So far from the people I've met, I think that is where everyone's at. So these genuine, sincere relationships, can I get mushy for a second? I'm sorry, I know it's early, but I will get mushy. The reason my wife and I moved to Roosevelt Island is because it's a nice, friendly neighborhood place. We moved here knowing that we wanted to have kids, and so far we're convinced we've made a great choice. This is a great neighborhood. It is friendly. And to see this, the business community reflecting that, the friendliness, people coming together, wanting to build each other's endeavors, that's a great move. And I hope that's something that we continue to do. And I think that this group is a reflection of the island and the small community, but also the big endeavors, the big ideas, the big dreams that everyone has in here. And I think this is a great place for us to bring that together. So with that said, I hope that all of us have a very generous attitude towards the group. And as we bring our contributions, I hope that we are generous with that. And when I mean generous, I think immediately the idea of money comes into mind, and that's not where I'm going at all. When I mean generous, I mean be generous with the knowledge that you've had. I'm not too sure if someone emailed me yesterday saying that they were in the middle of starting up a business that hadn't taken off yet, so they wanted to hold off and say, oh, I'll come when the business has started. My response was, if you come, you're going to meet people that have started a business, that know the challenges, that know some of the mistakes that are easily fallen into and can help you get out of that. But that only comes with an attitude of generosity. Yes, I'm going to share my knowledge, I'm going to share my experience. And I hope that all of us have that generosity to help with that knowledge so that we can all grow each other. And also that we will listen to what everyone else is saying so that we give opportunities for people to share what they do. And we can understand what people do. There's every likelihood that there are people in here that are going to be able to meet a need or solve a problem that someone has in this room. And we're only going to figure that out if there's that listening in case of, okay, what is it that you do again? okay, what kind of clients are you working with? What kind of customers are you generally attracting? So just come with that generosity to listen and to understand what everyone else in the room is having. And also referrals. I don't know about everyone else, but in a client-based business, I'm very wary about referring people. But I hope that over time, as relationships build and as people gain trust in each other, there will be that case of, yes, I can refer people to you. Already, Janet and I've been able to refer someone to Janet that was a client of hers. For neither of us, there was any business there for us. Neither of us sort of made money from that. However, it was great for both of us. I was able to refer a personal friend to one of Janet's clients, and Janet will have to update me, but as far as I know, they had a great endeavor. And that went very well. So just being generous with that idea. If it's appropriate, if I can trust somebody, I'd love to be able to send some referrals in. Again, all in an effort to build each other's businesses. Another thing, I would ask that we commit to the group. And when I say commit to the group, attendance is not mandatory. We're not going to be taking a roll call. No one's going to be following up asking why people weren't there. However, the group is going to function much better if people come on a regular basis. If people are here, people are present, you're here not only to share what it is you're doing, but also sort of listen what everyone else is up to. It's only going to get better if there's a commitment to attend when possible. And also, if we can be looking to bring others that are doing business on the island to the group. So for example, it's a shame he's not here, but the chap that runs the hair salon, I was in there the other day, you might not be able to tell, but I recently got to do it. And I said, we've got a group, great way for you to meet other business people on the island. It's a shame he decided not to make it today, but still with that attitude of, no, business people need to get together. It's not just for people that are looking to meet potential clients, it's people that are looking to grow as business people. I would also encourage all of us to try and build relationships outside of the set meetings. So as you're here, I'm sure a lot of people have exchanged business cards, a lot of people have exchanged numbers and so on. I encourage you to get together outside of these four walls and these set meetings. Again, just to grow, just to learn from each other, just to learn from mistakes and successes and so on, so that we can grow those businesses. So as I said, the next meeting is going to be on March 27th at 7:30 p.m. At the moment, it's going to be at Trellis. That's to be confirmed, but of course we will be sending email updates with you. And the general run-through of the meetings after today is going to be, again, some more time for people to get together, exchange business cards and so on. And then we're going to give 3 people an opportunity to share what they do. Now, they could share what they do, they could share something they've learned, you know, whatever they may wish to share, a great testimony from a client. But we're going to give 3 people 6 minutes each to share what they do. So Janet and I will figure out a way of how to give those people those 6 minutes. But I'm sure it's going to be based on, if you want to have 6 minutes, let us know. And we would sort of then work some sort of system where people get a chance to share all that's going on. So it'd be a great way for you to publicly say what you're doing. I read somewhere recently that people are more scared of public speaking than of dying. So we may get 100% on that, we may not, I don't know. But we will make that opportunity available for you to be able to share to the whole group. And I expect it to grow from here. This is a great first meeting. I really am surprised at how many people are here. So thanks everyone. Janet's going to share something as well.
All right, thank you, Tom. I want to pick up on a few themes that Tom mentioned about my experience here on Roosevelt Island running a business, and really the theme is networking. How did I meet Tom? Well, as you know, we've already met, but the reason that we met is that we are both members of the Roosevelt Island group on LinkedIn. And there are people there from all different backgrounds. There's even some people who are employees of Free out there. And Tom asked the question, does this group ever meet? And the answer was nobody answered. But I got in touch with him and I said, well, why don't we meet? And as you've already heard, we had a conversation. Now, as you figured out, Tom is from Britain and I'm from New York. So we were talking, as he already alluded, to the fact that I have a client in New Jersey who's going to be traveling to Australia, which is where Tom went to college. And he connected me to one of his associates from his Australian college days. And now the two of them are in contact. Who would think that he from Britain and me from New York here on Roosevelt Island would find a connection through Australia and New Jersey? All it goes to show is that everybody knows somebody worth knowing. And you don't know who that person knows and who stands in their circle until you ask. And you can find out amazing, amazing connections. I've done some networking here on Roosevelt Island in unexpected ways. I was a volunteer with RERA, which organized a protest in front of Governor Cuomo's office in July, and that was regarding the appointment of a non-resident to the REA board. I think we all remember that. And that got in the news. How did that get in the news? I'm a public relations professional. I contacted the New York Times. I contacted the Albany paper. And sure enough, someone on Roosevelt Island said, boy, that Janet Falk, she got us in the news. I bet she could help you with your business. And that is how I met Denise Schultz, who's a member of RERA. And a few weeks ago, you might have seen Denise was on the front page of The Wire. And how did that happen?
You might not recognize me.
A public relations professional got in touch with the editor of The Wire, and she was also in the Roosevelt Islander blog. And sure enough, she had more than 30 people come to her book reading and signing. So, as I said, everybody knows someone worth knowing, and you don't know who they know until you start asking them. But what is it about networking? It's not about me. It's about you. It's about understanding who you are, understanding who your clients are, understanding who's on your side of the table, and bringing to bear the insight that you have as an independent solo practitioner, small business owner, the issues that you've had to grapple with, the ways that you've had to promote yourself, the ways that you've had to manage when you have too little or too much work, the way that you keep track of your bookkeeping and your finances, and so on. So I see this as a mutual relationship, that networking is understanding who's on the other side of the table. It's not about me. It's about you, and thinking about who are the potential partners and connections that are going to help the people who are on the other side.
All right, well, there are still coffee and muffins.
Sure.
Please eat all.
Wait, let's, before we go any further,
sorry.
if anyone has any suggestions based on their experience with other networking groups, or things that they would like to see or not see, or something special that they think that they bring to the group, now would be a nice time to introduce that thought. Yes, Jenny?
Well, I like structure on groups like this because, and I was discussing it with a couple of other people, where we don't need to mingle anymore, like, I mean, personally, I came here, well, there's a sense of community, but I need help in running my business because I wasn't a business person. And so I want to, get advice and help from other people who've done it. But I think a structured approach, and today we have one because you're introducing, but I would hope that you put a structured approach in. And what do you do?
Okay, and Jamie is a writer.
Mystery.
Tom doesn't have a name.
It's on Rick's sweater.
How'd that happen?
Sorry about that.
We enjoyed a hug earlier.
There you go.
They got up close and personal there.
Anything for news stories.
Okay, Rick, did you have a comment?
Yeah, just a point of information to see if anyone here is interested in this idea. There's a possibility of the space on the second floor of 504 Main Street to be used as a co-working shared space. And it's the idea where there will be like wireless access, desks, computers, space for a conference room, meeting space. And I spoke with David Kramer last night, who's the developer of Southtown, and he's also going to be controlling that space. And he indicated that he would be interested in turning that space into a co-working space if there's a market here on Roosevelt Island for such a thing. So I'm just wondering from this group whether or not there would be interest for such a facility.
Yeah,
I'm just
to
throwing it out
elaborate
there.
a little further, a co-working space is kind of like a high school cafeteria. It has some long tables, such as this, and people come with their laptops, and they use the wireless access. And for some people, it provides them the needed space outside of their home-based office that's quiet, and that has Wi-Fi, and where they can go and have a place to go out of their home and get out of their casual clothes and be in a professional
I call it Starbucks.
well, that too. And it also can have facilities such as, you know, conference space and some light refreshments and so on. And would serve not only as an incubator and a place for home-based business workers to go and have a place to go, but it might even attract people from outside of Roosevelt Island who live in Queens or on the Upper East Side and would find it easier to come here than to go downtown to, what is it, 55 Broad or one of the other co-working spaces. Denise?
And I mean, if we were to get that organized, you can then also take it to the next step where maybe you have a centralized phone system. I mean, it's even an internet-based phone system, and so you can have an outside telephone number, you can have a business address that's not your home address, you know. And so those are nice little extra benefits that, you know, it's like you have an office outside of your home.
Right, it adds a different professional sheen to your outward exposure. And your name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Yes,
thank you.
I think maybe just a quick little, everyone just introduce themselves, you know, 3 seconds, just what they do, and that would be nice as well, just in case you didn't get to mingle with everybody in the room. And nothing, you know, elaborate, but just to introduce everybody.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that in just a second. Is there any more feedback on this co-working space?
This
I
one,
don't know.
my name is Al Noor. I'm a bookkeeper, so I've done my introduction. But it struck me when you mentioned, when Tom mentioned the fear of dying is second to the fear of speaking in public. And I want to mention, I was thinking as we came in, there are quite a few other resources. Some of you might be new to the island. Many of you I recognize just from having lived here for 3 decades plus. But there is one organization that is really a rich resource, which is the Roosevelt Island Toastmasters. And they are very supportive. Most of them are not business people, although some of them are independent. And I would strongly suggest that some of us should check them out as a resource. And I really commend the both of you and everyone else for showing up in the morning. But this is a wonderful, wonderful activity that we think that's been launched here. And I commend you for the work, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get back to the co-working? I don't want to leave without any kind of response to the idea that's floating in the room.
I went to one of these places in San Francisco. My son-in-law is starting a startup business, so he doesn't have office space. He belongs to a place called Green Tip, and it's a shared office space. But it's like a club where you walk in, and it's made like you're going into a very nice club. There are places, you know, you walk in and there's a central area where people can meet. Then in different areas there are alcoves where you can sit down privately with either work yourself or have meetings. They do have certain people who come in where you can order food. If you're coming in and bringing clients, you make a reservation ahead of time so they know to have food for you. And it's really a great situation. It's a great situation for small businesses. This place is very impressive, and it would be a nice thing for any community to have.
What would be the cost?
That remains to be determined. I mean, that's up to David Kramer. He's the landlord, and he can determine the cost.
As well as how many people are involved, how many people commit to it, then, you know. I mean, I'd be willing to make a commitment to it for, you know, a year or two. I'm not going anywhere.
It depends on the type of services you want and how often you use the space. But generally, in existing spaces around the city, it could be anywhere from $200 to $1,000 a month. Usually, I mean, it's usually less than $1,000 a month.
That would be nice. Why don't we check it out?
You mean to just rent the space entirely?
Right.
No, per person.
Or 2,000 per person?
Yeah.
No. Between 200 and 1,000 a per person, depending upon the services you use.
It's like being a member of a gym. The services are there, and you're going to maximize them to the extent that you frequent the facility.
But would it not depend on what the rent is divided by the number of people sharing?
No, because since not everybody is there all the time, then the number of people that are members really is irrelevant.
And is it a for-profit anywhere along the way?
Yeah, it would be a full Okay, Jonathan?
Yeah, especially with the university coming here, it makes a lot of sense because we're going to have a lot of startups. They're going to have actually an incubate, like a tech incubator. So even if that space on the second floor is not available, which it probably isn't at this point, it would be really good. I'm working on, anybody want to talk to me about it, I'm working on a community benefit agreement with the university, and in order to, so we mutually benefit from the university coming here. And one of the things that we could ask for is that if they are going to build this shared workspace, that they allow everybody in the community to be able to use it. So if anybody has any questions about that, come to me afterwards.
Okay, any other comments or feedback before we get to the introduction?
Correctly, it's not you alone who's working on this.
No.
You as part of a committee.
Yeah, part of a large committee.
Yeah. Okay, in the interest of time and knowing how people might be fearful or verbose, I'm going to ask that each of us look to the person to our right and introduce that person to the group. Okay, and that'll keep things moving along. So I'm going to introduce you, and your name is?
I'm Irene Barr.
Irene. That's right. She's the piano instructor. Okay. Would you introduce the person to your right?
This is Tom Wood. And I'm not sure that's actually I introduced him to you, but
Well, you can't hear if you're talking.
you're community-minded. And you moved here with your wife in the hopes of having children, and you think you made the right choice.
And he works in financial services.
Okay.
Would you introduce the next person?
Hi, this is Mary, and Mary does a cleaning service here on the island. Is that correct? No. But if you did, I'm sure you do a great job.
I'm Mary. I run a cleaning service, but 99% of my business is not on the island. It's Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, not that I wouldn't welcome island business. And I am about to introduce Rick.
I write the Roosevelt Islander blog. And right over here is Don, who's in computers.
I guess Alex, an attorney.
Hi guys, next. This is Luigi, who has a photography studio on our very own island.
Nice meeting. And this is Chi, he's a civil engineer.
Alright, sitting on my right is Denise, very pretty lady. Wall Street, and she's a consultant.
And I have Leslie, who's in, Kelly, I'm sorry, who's in real estate.
Thank you. And I have Sharon, who is public health, and you're a writer.
Yes.
And actor.
And this guy with the great shirt is a customs broker, and I don't quite know what that means.
Very esoteric.
And
And his name is Alan.
oh, and my name is Alan.
Al. Oh, I'm sorry, Al.
Now let's see, Sharon over here makes jewelry. When you sell it, well, when you're buying it from Indonesia, you'll have to call me because you won't know what to do when they tell you it's the airport. So there we go.
Very easy.
Very easy.
So this is Xiao Xiao. She is in research.
Hi, I'm going to introduce Ruth. She's a baker. She just started her bakery business about 2.5 years ago.
I'm sorry, could you say it this way? Because I'm weak.
Sure, I'm sorry, this is Ruth. She started her catering business.
I'm a caterer.
I love you. You did a spectacular job at my book signing.
And this is Janet, and Janet's in public relations, and I must say, very good at it.
Right, this is Jamie, and she's a writer.
A writing consultant.
Writing consultant.
And do I hear we have Doug, an architect?
Yes, and next to me is Ellen Levy. She's the Director of Advertising for The Wire. She is an interior decorator or designer, decorator, and also a cat sitter.
Wow. Okay, and I have Christina, who's in finance and insurance and has lived on the island for 5 years.
I'll shoot to the back here, everybody's been. So Rumit is my friend and neighbor, and he's in travel, so he does individual and corporate travel events, and you gotta know this guy, he's great.
On my right is Alur. He was my former neighbor in a building further up the island. He's a bookkeeper.
And this is Vicky, whom I've known for a long time, and she does. Yes.
Yeah, I have an errand service, and I'm a proofreader for The Wire, and personal assistance work, office work, all the things that you don't have time for, I can do for you.
Wow, that's good.
So, great. And here's Dottie, who's a marketing professional. And this is Jennifer, who's a cosmetic injector nurse.
And I'm sorry, this is...
I'm Chelsea.
Chelsea, sorry.
I own Intervision Advertising. Live here on the island, specialize in advertising small businesses.
I think everyone got introduced.
Yeah. All right, we thank you all for coming. We appreciate your feedback. I hope that you have all signed in and left your business card so that we can provide you with entry to our LinkedIn group, Roosevelt Island Business Networking Group, and I'll be sending those out as soon as I have all the email addresses. If you didn't bring a business card, I will give you mine and you can respond back to me. And we look forward to keeping in touch with you, and you will be reminded about the March 27th, 7:30 meeting. It may be at Trellis, or if we're lucky enough to find someone from Rivercross who wants to get us a community room, it may be there. So please be in touch with us.